Goce from MP3 Car, and today I'm going to show you how to power your laptop by cutting up your AC to DC power brick using the Kinetics P2140. The materials you'll need are your laptop, your AC to DC power brick, and your P2140, of course. The P2140 output harness, a knife or pair of scissors, a pair of wire strippers, 14 to 22 gauge, a multimeter, some shrink tubing, 2 or 3 pieces, and a heat shrink tubing gun, or if you don't have them, which no reason you should, some electrical tape will do, some solder and a solder gun. The solder should preferably be non-leaded, and a bench battery. So before you start cutting up your AC to DC brick, there's 3 things that you and I want to know. Like I said before I start cutting up my brick, the first thing you want to know is how many volts does your laptop need in order to function. The next thing you want to know is how many watts does it consume, and the third thing you want to know, if the 2 above work out, is the polarity of your barrel connector. So how do you find out those 3 things? The first and the second, which is the voltage and the wattage, should be on the back of your brick. There should be a label, or it should be actually inscribed on the back of your AC to DC brick. And as I'm looking at this brick right now, my laptop needs 19 volts and it can maximum consume 90 watts, which is about 4.7 amps. So thinking about all this, I can take this information and say, well, can I use the P2140 or should I look for some other product? Luckily, the P2140 can output 19 volts on the primary rail, and it can output maximum of 7 amperes, which it means I'm okay because I only need 4.7 amps. So the next thing we're going to find out is how is actually the polarity of the barrel connector, because when you look at a barrel connector, there's the outside wrapper and there's also the inside. So one of them is positive and one of them is negative. Usually this kind of information is on the back of the brick, and it will look something like this. But if it's not, there's an alternative way to test this, and it's by using the continuity or the ohm meter on your multimeter. Okay, so we're going to show you how to find the polarity of your of the inside of the barrel connector using a voltmeter. The first thing you need to make sure is that your AC to DC brick is actually plugged into a wall outlet, so that way you're getting some power on the barrel connector, and since it's only 19 volts, it's not going to hurt you at all. So then what you need to do is you take your 2 probes. Now, since I don't know if the outside or the inside is the positive one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to arbitrarily take one probe and stick it on the inside of the barrel connector, take the other probe and touch the outside, and then look at the reading on my multimeter. So right now it says negative 18.9 volts. So what that means is that I have the current flow reversed. So since I have the black probe or negative on the inside, now I pretty much know that the inside is positive and the outside is negative. So reverse those just to make sure. 18.9 volts. Now I know that the center part of the barrel is positive. So the first 2 things we're going to do is we're going to cut the brick. So this is the part that we don't actually need, and then we're going to strip the wire of here so we can, before we start soldering. That's trash. If you take a look at this wire, there's the black plastic coating on the outside. I'm going to move this a little bit so hopefully you see there's wiring right underneath this black coating, plastic coating. It's a multi-strand wire, and when you cut into the black coating, be very, very careful how you cut, because the wire underneath cuts very, very easily, and you need that. Underneath that multi-strand wire is a white PVC coat or protection, and then inside that is another strand or multi-strand of wires. So what this should be is the wiring inside the white PVC is the positive, and the wiring on the outside of the white PVC is the negative. But just to make sure, we're going to do a continuity test on it and figure out which one's which, because we're going to need to know later on. So I have a 10 gauge to 18 gauge wire stripper in my right hand. So what I'm going to do is when I peel this black plastic coating off, I want to be really careful the way I do it. So I'm going to start with a 10 gauge and see where that goes. So I'm going to put the wire strippers around the plastic coating, and I'm just going to bite into it very, just a little bit, gently, and then I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to turn the wire 90 degrees, so I have a nice clean cut all around. I'm going to bite into it a little bit again, and then I'm going to try to pull the PVC off. Okay, so what we have right here is, so this roll of multi-strand wire was right underneath the black PVC coating. Right underneath or inside in this multi-strand wire is a white PVC coating, and then inside that is a clump of multi-strand wires. So historically, this clump of wiring has been on ground, and the one inside has been the positive. But I'm not really sure, because there have been bricks in the past that have been different. So just to make sure, we're going to use a continuity meter to find out which one of these wires is the positive and which one's the negative.